Hi guys. Okay, this is gonna be my video talking to you guys about my experience with my very first time doing a past life regression. And it's gonna be a very it's gonna be a very amateurish video. I literally have you guys on a tripod and I'm in my room on my bed because I just want to be comfortable and I don't really feel like, sitting at the desk. So we're just going to make do with it how it is. You guys could put me off to the side, listen to me. This isn't going to be much of a show and tell kind of a video. So really just all you need to do is listen to me talk. So I just literally got through doing a past life regression about 45 minutes ago. And it was a group one. So, it wasn't a one-on-one personal regression. It was in a group setting with like about, I don't even know how many people were in there, like 10, 15 maybe. And so we were guided. So I'm just going to tell you guys just from like whatever naturally just comes to mind. I wrote down some notes, but it's still fresh in my head. So we shall see how this goes. So our past life regression started off with a meditation to just get ourselves comfortable, get our bodies comfortable, get ourselves acclimated to, pretty much putting us in this like meditative state where we are opening ourselves up subconsciously, I guess you would say, to our past lives. And she kind of guided us to put an intention or to think about in terms of like, what question do we have that we wanted this regression to kind of give us some insight with. So she wanted us to think of something, at least from my understanding, she wanted us to think of something that we were searching answers for, that we wanted to just kind of understand our present life a little bit better with. And so going into this, I set the intention when the meditation started to see, get some insight or some guidance about why in this present life do I struggle with my womb space? Why do I struggle with infertility? Why do I struggle with motherhood in general, with my own mother, with being a mother or not being a mother? Am I comfortable with not being a mom ever in this lifetime? Do I want to be a mom? Do I not want to? Like all of those topics. So I kind of just like put it all in like one big intention, and that's what I placed specifically for mine. And boy, did it deliver. So she starts off the meditation. Like I said, we had to get our bodies relaxed and just get ourselves in the flow. And then she wanted us to envision our front door from our home, pretty much like a door that you're familiar with. And as she did a countdown, she wanted us to look at this door as the opening of a huge tunnel that would lead us into time. And time it didn't have to just go into the future. I mean, into the past, it could go into the future apparently. So it was kind of one of those fluid, regressions, I guess, where you could tap into a future life or tap into a past life. So we open the door and we see the tunnel in front of us, and my tunnel was dark. And as I'm walking through this tunnel, because she wanted us to observe the tunnel with a light at the very end. And so we're walking through the tunnel, or I'm walking through the tunnel, and I'm envisioning in my mind's eye, like I could hear like little snippets of, versions of myself in a life. Like it's almost like they're like multiple windows, right? With like a sneak peek, a preview of what that life is. And so I was walking past and I was seeing like feelings of visions of me as a man, visions or feelings of like a dark life, and different lives. I just had these like feelings, and it was kind of like a knowing kind of a thing. Like I kind of think of it as when I do mediumship readings and I just kind of get this knowing that the messages that are coming through are meant for my client. It was kind of like a similar feeling to that. And we get to the end of the tunnel with the light, and there's 2 doors. So she's guiding us to see 2 doors, and one door is for the past and the other door is for the future. And she pretty much left it up to us to decide what door we wanted to walk through. So I left it to my intuition, my subconscious, my intuition. And I remember the door to the past was bright, like colorful, and the door to the future was dark. So I took that as a sign that I'm supposed to go through the past. And I opened it. And it took me a little bit to kind of acclimate into a life because I kind of feel like my body was being pulled in different directions. Like I felt like I wanted to, it was kind of like I had a snippet of this life and a feeling of this one. And I was just kind of like getting my flow. Like it was like I was trying to find what life I was supposed to be in, to see, to vision, to experience based off of the intention that I put. So I ended up in a pioneer. So this is what I wrote. I wrote a pioneer timeline because I don't really know. All I know was it was not like a modern day time. It felt back in the day. It felt like this was a time when there was no electricity in our homes. This was a time where there was no running water in the homes. This was a very like an older lifetime. But as I was like going into this life and these experiences, I realized that there were elements of this life that it was almost like it could have been the past of this world, but it could have been a past of a different world where energy and magic could be manipulated, because I'll get to that. But anyways, so I'm overlooking a cliff and I could hear the ocean in the background. So it was like a cliff overlooking the ocean, and it was lots of greenery and grass. And she had us look down at our feet just to kind of get a feel for who we are and to feel our body. So when I was allowing myself to feel my body and to feel the sensations of my body, I noticed that I was pregnant. I noticed that I had like literally like, I guess I was pregnant. I'm assuming I was pregnant because I had this feeling of like heaviness in my womb space. And then I looked down and I was wearing moccasins, like material, leathery animal hide material on my feet. And I had really long dark hair, and my skin was very dark. So definitely indigenous, I would have to say. And then what else did I put? Okay. So then she guided us to like different like memories of this lifetime. So one of the first ones was she had us go to our house. So our home, our dwelling place. And my home was made out of like lumber. It was like a cabin hut type of a thing. And it was like one single room, and there was like the kitchen, and then there was the bed, and there was like children playing outside. I could hear my children playing outside, and but it was very, very old looking. And then I had herbs and stuff in the house, and she wanted us to come up with a memory, like to think of a memory or a time that we felt like there was different ones. A time we felt really proud, a time that we felt accomplished, to look into our career, to look into having dinner with our family. What did that look like? Who was our family? And I remember when I got the vision of my family, I became very emotional. So that told me that my family was very important to me. And I had children. I had a lot of children. I had a lot of children, at least 3 or 4 that I could remember, and then including the one inside of me. And then my husband was there too. And he was a white man, which I thought was kind of funny because as I was, kind of feeling out this life, I was like, am I Pocahontas? Like, But I didn't want to be so cliche with the past life. Like, I remember in my mind, my ego started to kick in and I was like, no, I'm not Pocahontas. Like, that's just too cliche. It's just a typical timeline. So I kind of like pushed the Pocahontas narrative out of my mind. But I was married to a white man, and he had very white skin, and I remember he had like long blonde hair and like green eyes. And the thing about his eyes were that he had my husband's eyes, like my husband now, his eyes. And I just remember like looking into them and they were like so familiar. And and then she had us like go to a time when we were very like a very like important time with someone important in that life. And I was envisioning me and my husband in that life. We were laying down under the stars, and there was like a campfire next to us. And it was almost like we were going to make love, but it was like the starry night above us. And it was very like peaceful and quiet. And I just remember feeling so in love with him. And then she had us go to a time that we were very proud. That was a very important time in our life. And this one was the one that didn't make sense to me. So I was overlooking the cliff from when I first got into this life. And I was throwing something over the cliff. And as I threw it, it turned into an owl and flew away. And I was like, what, I don't understand how this is important to me. Like, it didn't make sense, right? And so I just took a note of it. And then we went into another timeline or a memory of a big accomplishment. And I was in this shaman ceremony. It was like campfire, and it was nighttime, and they were painting, like they were putting paint, or I don't know, I assumed it was paint, on our faces. And we had like this big fire. And I just remember like we were sacrificing. I literally wrote sacrifice because I wasn't sure how else to explain it. I wrote down a shaman work, initiation, sacrifice, ceremony. And we were sacrificing babies that were lost, like that had died. And so it kind of started to make a little bit more sense. So then she put us in another snippet, another memory of what was it? Oh, of our career. How did we make money? What was our, what did we do? What was our, like our, not, maybe not a hobby, but like, what was our purpose? And I was like, I heard womb healer. I was a womb healer, and I had herbs. I was working with a lot of herbs and doing a lot of healing with that, and helping giving birth, and like babies that were not alive. They were stillborn. They were thrown over this cliff and morphed, like they shifted into owls and flew away. So that was kind of made sense then with the whole vision that I got of the owl. And then it made sense with the shaman, like initiation sacrifice ceremony that I was seeing. Was like, okay, it's like a whole healing process. And what else? Then she wanted us to see like our last moment in our life, pretty much envisioning our death. And mine, I was old. My long dark hair was gray, so I knew, I took that as, okay, I lived pretty much my whole life, right? And I was walking alongside like a river or whatnot, and I was shot from the back, like my right shoulder. I was shot with an arrow. And it was funny because throughout the whole past life regression, I kept seeing arrow, like an arrow. And I was like, I feel like that's how I died, but I'm not supposed to be there yet. So it was kind of like my subconscious wanted to like give me all the answers right away, right? And so I died by arrow. Someone shot me in the back. Do I know who it was? No, I don't. But I pretty much was laying beside the river or the creek or whatever it was. I don't know who found me or whatnot, because we kind of left that life once it was done. But yeah, that was how I passed. So it was very interesting. I'm trying to look at my notes. Let me see if I missed anything. Oh, one of the biggest lessons in my life in that lifetime, that was another one, was losing a child. I actually lost one of my own children through birth. And so losing a child was a big lesson that I learned in life. And that was a tough one. I remember I was like crying during that experience as well. And yeah, that's pretty much all I wrote down. So this experience was pretty crazy. I wasn't sure if I was going to see anything. I wasn't sure if I was going to get much out of this because it was a group setting. So I know when it's group settings, it's not as like one-on-one. But I was surprised. I was surprised with what came through. When I look into it now in terms of like the intention that I set for, wanting to focus on my womb space and my infertility and all of that stuff, this life really reflects that. It's kind of like she lived a rich life. She lived a rich, giving life to others. She literally sacrificed those babies, those children that passed, and helped them like turn into owls. And it was kind of like a recycled life, right? She experienced her own baby passing. She experienced love in full form. Like this romance with this man was very intense from what I could feel. And her family was very important to her, and she was a healer. I mean, I don't know what else to call her. She was a healer. She was a womb healer. So I feel like because of that life, that very rich life of having a family and being of service to her little community with their birds and this and that, I feel like maybe that's a lesson for me in this lifetime. Maybe I'm not meant to be a mother in this lifetime. Maybe I'm meant to be selfish and live a selfish life. I know that sounds horrible, but that's kind of one thing that I have to work on is being comfortable with my lifestyle, because I feel like I live a very privileged life for the most part. My husband is the breadwinner, and he's works really hard, and I work hard too. I'm not saying I don't, but I do work hard. But I also get to work from home and be, a housewife, and I don't have to deal with other things. So I feel like it's kind of like a give and take, and I feel like this lifetime that I'm in right now is teaching me to heal from a lot of the things from the past. When I look at my north and south node in astrology, it even says to my north node, which is my purpose in this present life, even says to live selfishly, to enjoy your time, your time. And because I was always of service to other people in past life. So it kind of makes sense, and it kind of validates the way I am. It kind of validates the way I feel, not to feel bad for being selfish, not to feel bad for this life that I'm in. Would I love a family? Yes. Would I love to be able to have a baby? Yes. Could it still happen? Sure. Will it? I don't know. But it's kind of nice to know that there is a past life, and I'm sure that there's many others, but it's nice to know that there is a past life where I was of service to these babies, and I had babies of my own, and it's kind of like you enjoyed that life already. So this life that you're in right now is supposed to be different, and I have to learn to accept that. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I want to investigate a little bit more about this experience. I would love to meditate some more and see if I could tap in on my own, and kind of see if I could remember anything else. But it was a beautiful experience, and I'm really happy, and yeah, it was very good. So I just wanted to share it with you guys before it became a distant memory. So since it's so fresh right now, I had to like film it. Oh, excuse me. But I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here and just relax. I'm going to relax the rest of the night. I literally, you guys, I got out of bed after the meditation, and when the class was over, I was getting up to stand up, and my feet were asleep, especially my left foot, which it is right now again. And I misjudged that. And I fell like face first on the floor. So I'm hoping I didn't sprain my ankle. I was able to walk on it, but not too good. So I'm just going to be nursing my foot. And yeah, just really taking in this meditation, probably go into another meditation tonight. And I'm just really grateful. Oh, and the last part, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot about this. The last part, so at the very end of the meditation, as she was bringing us back, she wanted us to commune with our spirit guides. And she asked our spirit guide to give us a gift, to take with us in this present life. And my guide, literally, his name was his or her. I couldn't tell if it was male or female. But this guide, which I feel like I have to work with this guide for past life, because this is a new one, but it was Ezra. And it was more of like a light being. It wasn't like a being. It was just like Ezra was just light. So that's why I can't tell if Ezra is male or female. Probably just androgynous, if that's the right term, or, both. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But Ezra gave me an egg. Like, they gave me an egg. And when I asked Ezra, what do you want me to do with this? They said to swallow it. So I swallowed it in the meditation. And they gave me like words of wisdom. They just pretty much told me like the things that I'm worried about right now is in terms of my fertility and infertility and all of this. It's just everything is happening for a reason. And they said to allow the egg to give me life. So is this, it could be symbolic, it could be literal, it could be a lot of things. So planting that egg or that seed within me. So I did what they said. I swallowed it. We'll see what happens. What new things maybe I'll be seeing new things birthed into my reality, figuratively or specifically, you never know. But it was beautiful. So really, really enjoyed this experience. I'm so glad and so grateful for it. And it makes me curious to see what other experiences I could have with past life regression. Would I like to do it again? Yes. Would I want a more one-on-one? Yes. I think it's definitely something that I would like to look into. And yeah, love it. Let me know in the comments, have you guys ever had a past life reading done before? Especially a regression where you're put under hypnosis. Let me know, and I would love to hear your stories. And other than that, I will talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.